Hey guys, welcome back. I hope you caught our first interview with Carly, and I'm back. I'm Sheena with Strength Unleashed, and I'm here with my client Lori, and we're just going to chat about her journey and some of her wins and some of her learning moments throughout her journey with me. So, Lori, tell me about you. Tell me your name, what you do, and what brought you to me.
So my name is Lori. I'm an accountant. Um, I found Sheena online. Uh, I had liked her post and she had sent me a message and I was super nervous. And so I didn't go the first time. And then the second time I liked it again and she messaged me again and offered me a free session the first time. And I thought, well, I'll go and I'll try it out. So I did. And here
I
I am.
I'm so grateful that you did. So grateful. Uh, when you decided to take the leap and start working on improving your health, tell me about where you were at mentally, physically, emotionally.
Physically, um, I I would say physically and emotionally, I was in a dark place. I had fallen, and everything in my back and my legs had locked up, and so I couldn't really walk. I was basically just shuffling, and it had gotten to the point that it was like either I do something or I'm going to lose my mobility. And I felt very insecure. Emotionally, I just was like, I guess I feel like I was in a dark place. I feel like I was at the lowest point in my life at that time. Sorry, I don't want to
You're
cry.
okay.
And so I had watched my oldest sister pass because she had not taken care of herself and physically or mentally or anything. And so I felt if I didn't do something now that it was just going to get worse. And I didn't want it to get worse because I didn't want to be immobile for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I think that's a great goal, first off. Second, do you remember the first time you came to my house, coming up my stairs?
Yes,
That was hard.
really struggled.
You
I,
did.
yeah, I was really heavy. My knees were not
After
in the
that
best.
fall.
Yeah, after that fall, it just was no, I just wasn't in a good place at all. But I remember that day, and I remember us doing, you were kind of like testing me in the garage and seeing what I could do. And I was trying to do a back squat and I couldn't get out of it. I could get down, but I couldn't get up. And you had to come and help me get out. And for me, it was hard. It was embarrassing because I felt like, how did you let yourself get this way? But it was already there. I was already there. And so I had to figure a way to get out of that.
But how many of us have been in that spot where we're like, how did I get here? How did I let it get to this point? I mean, don't you feel like everybody has kind of been there in some form or another?
100%.
Whether
People,
whether it's physical or financial, emotional,
right. Yeah,
we've all.
I think everybody has gotten to that point somewhere in their life. And quite honestly, you need to change the behaviors, yes, that got you there, but you also have to accept this is where I'm at. And what can I do to change it now? Because
Yeah,
I can't go back and change the decisions I made earlier. So I think one of the biggest lessons I've learned in working with you is that this is where I'm at now. And what can I do to get better tomorrow? And what can I do to improve myself now? It doesn't matter what happened in the past, it happened, right?
mhm,
And you just got to move forward. If you stay stuck there, then you're never going to move forward. And I think that's the hardest thing for people to accept is they don't want to accept where they're at now, right? They keep thinking, oh, it's going to get better on its own. And it doesn't. You have to take action and do something to make it change. I think
a
there,
100%,
yeah.
100%. Um, One of the things that I heard the other day that I really liked is you can't cut the same log twice. You can't go back. You're not going to go back and recut the sawdust. Like, so you can't go back and change what's already happened, but
Right.
you can do better moving forward. Always,
Right.
always.
Right.
Um, so you kind of gave us a little bit of background on that story that led you to that space. Do you want to expand on that at all? What got you to rock bottom?
Um, at that time, I was working at a courthouse and I was struggling just to move. Like I would work on the front counter some days, and I was struggling just to move from one section to another section to take a payment. And you know, the clients or the customers would comment on it, and it yes, part of it was my weight, but the other part of it was that things just weren't working right. Right, my back was all jacked up, and my legs, and it I just think I was so, how do I say, so embarrassed about how I looked, how I felt, that I didn't want to feel that way anymore.
Do you ever think, like, I never felt embarrassed because of you. I never felt anything but love and maybe some sympathy for what you had been through, but I never felt like, "Oh, how did she get there?" The way that we put that on ourselves, you know. Do you feel like do you ever feel like other people do that, or do you feel like you put that on yourself?
Well, I can say just with the social media happening, the situation where it's at now, I watch a lot of people that are influencers in different things, right? And people make comments about their size, about their shape, about, how they look, if they're cute or they're ugly, and it's like, I think other people will make comments, or it's the look on their face. They might not say it, but you can see it on their face when they're talking to you, even if it's unrelated, right? And
Yeah.
so, even though I felt that way myself, I also felt like other people thought that too. They didn't come out and say it, but you could see by the way they treated you, or the way they acted around you, that they're judging you in some way. How did you
Did
do
you
this?
did you ever feel that in the gym?
Um, I don't want to say that. I don't think, no, I don't felt, that when I was in the gym, it was more internal, because all the girls were so much younger than me. They were all at least 20 years younger. And, you know, yes, some of them were heavy, that was their
That's
journey,
why
right?
you're there.
Yeah, exactly. You're trying to improve yourself, right? And so I never felt, um, I would say in my head, I felt less than, but I never felt that from anybody else there. And I think that's one of the biggest bonuses of coming and working out with you, is that nobody ever makes you feel less than.
I think we have a good group of ladies. I
Yes,
really do.
100%. I love everybody there.
So, what is your end goal?
I want to be as mobile as long as I can. I'm single, and so I don't have children. So it's, a lot of people, I think, rely on that. They rely on their partner, or they rely on their kids. Oh, my kids will take care of me, or my partner's going to take care of me. And so they don't think about the consequences of what's going to happen. And I don't have that safety net, right? Or I don't have that structure. Yes, I have family that would step in and help me, right? I don't, but I don't want to ever get to that point, right? I'm independent. I want to stay independent as long as possible.
Nobody wants to be at that point, like, truly, but we don't think ahead. We like, when we're in our 20s, we're like, "Oh, I wanna look hot." Like, and
Exactly, right?
we don't think about, "Oh, this this lack of mobility, this lack of movement could be the thing that takes away my independence."
Right. And again, I had my second oldest sister passed just a few months ago, and she had made, again, some poor decisions in her life that basically she was immobile. And for the last year of her life, she was in a care facility. And she just could not accept that. She didn't want to accept that, but she couldn't go back and change those choices, right? She was 69 when she passed. So it was like, watching somebody realize that their life was coming to an end and that they couldn't achieve what they wanted because they had set themselves up that way, right? The choices you make set yourself up for later in life. And I don't think when you're 20 something or 30 something that you're thinking about that. You're thinking about, hey, I'm raising my family, I'm working, developing my career, whatever, and you're not looking at the long-term effects of the decisions you're making now.
I agree with that. I agree with that. Tell me, who are the most influential people in your world? Who inspires you?
I will say the group that I work out with is probably the most inspiring girls I know. If I'm struggling with something, there's always somebody there to help me. They always encourage me. Those are probably the biggest influencers in my life. I do watch a lot of social media, like Mel Robbins, Dave Ramsey, those type of people for financial stuff. But I watch I think it's Joey Swall. He's a bodybuilder, and he talks about the atmosphere in the gym and how not to treat people poorly. Because when I'm not coming to you, I try to go to a regular gym on those days, right? And just because I want to keep that mobility, and if I don't do something every day, I can definitely feel a difference. So I really like watching him. What's that other guy we watch? 75 Hard.
Andy Frisella.
Yeah, Andy Frisella. He's a no nonsense guy.
Yep. I like his no BS approach to things. Yep. Like, he's going to call you out on your crap. And, some people that's hard to take, but I love it. I would rather somebody call me out on it right in the moment instead of let me go on for however long. And I love Andy Frisella.
Yeah, no. So those are I like those no nonsense people that are just going to tell you straight out, even though it's not something you want to hear. And it might take you a while to accept it, but
I feel like that's how you are, though. You don't mince words. You just say, like, this is what it is. And I mean, I love that about you. So that's interesting that's where you gravitate.
Well, and it's because I just think when you fluff it up, sometimes people miss the message, right? And it's not because I'm trying to be cruel or I'm trying to hurt anybody, because that's the last thing I want to do. But sometimes you just have to say what it is.
Yeah. No, I agree. I love that you included, number one, the people that are real in your life, not somebody you've never met before. I love that, because I think those are the most influential people in our world sometimes, but we don't recognize it. So I love that you recognize that. What's one thing that you wish more people understood about health and fitness and exercise?
That it's not a quick fix. It's a journey. All these programs that are out there that are telling people, oh, drink this or take this pill. That's a temporary fix. It might fix the problem that you're trying to correct within the next few months, but it's not a long-term fix. And what happens when you stop taking that pill or you stop drinking that pink fluid or whatever color it is? And quite honestly, I tried all those things and it just doesn't work. You have to, it's a journey, it's a process, and nothing is going to happen. But I will say the one thing that really sticks with me that you said to me one time, what you eat is going to change the pounds, but the weight that you work out with is going to change the composition of your body and how it looks. And I tell that to people all the time. I'm like, you can cut all the calories you want. You're going to drop the pounds, but your body might not look how you want it to still, because you got to condition it just like anything else.
Yeah. Yeah, it's both sides of that coin. You have to keep working on the nutrition, and you have to keep working on the fitness side of things. But I love the little tidbits that stick with people, because sometimes it surprises me what, I maybe said something one time, but that's the thing that stuck, that they're like, "Oh, yeah, this is it." So I love that that's one that stuck, because I don't know that I say that a ton. Um, but
No,
I
I
do
think
say
you
it.
only
I've
said it
I've
one
repeated
time.
it.
Yeah, I think you only said it the one time. And I'm like, for some reason that just stuck in my head that day. It was something I needed to hear.
Yeah.
And I was ready to accept it, right? I was ready to accept that information at that time. So yeah, that sticks with me. It's like when I'm eating those Doritos that I shouldn't be eating, it's like, this is going to change the pounds.
Yeah. Yeah. What you eat changes the pounds either direction. Like,
Exactly. It might not be the result you want, but it's
yeah.
going to change the pounds, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me, how are you a different person today than the Lori who walked into my gym 6, 7 years ago?
I would say I feel more comfortable in my skin. I accept who I am. I am where I'm at. And if I want that to change and move forward, then I have to take action to do that. Where I think before, I was just in a state of, why does this keep happening to me, or why I wasn't in a growth mindset at that time, and I was in the mindset of poor me.
It's interesting on my end watching your growth. I have to tell you, you are one of my most inspiring clients. Watching your journey start to where we are now, progress. um I am amazed. I am consistently amazed by you, because like you said, when you first started, you could barely walk. You were shuffling. You lifting up your feet was hard. And then there was little things. You did the pull-ups, and like I'm pretty sure I cried the day you did pull-ups, because it
Yeah,
was
you
like
did.
such a big deal. And it touched me. You ran a half marathon. Like, going from not being able to pick up your feet to a half marathon in a matter of years, that was huge. I Dustin and I were talking one night, and for those of you who don't know, Dustin's my husband, and I just told him, I said, I'm just amazed. He's like, that is truly inspirational, because it's those stories that you love to hear about, the underdog that comes from life stacked against them to like doing big things and great things and being brave enough to try. That's huge. And not only did you do one, you've done two half marathons, right?
Yes.
And your first jump rope, like watching you go through what it took for you to be able to jump rope and lunges, like there's so many little things that I have watched the progress, and the the acceptance of who you are, like watching that transformation. And it's a hard thing to describe unless you witness it in somebody else, or even yourself. But it's a hard thing to describe to somebody what that transformation looks like. But it's that person who maybe only has that little sliver of hope, that only little bit of, okay, maybe I'm gonna take a chance on myself, and I'm gonna do this. And they keep seeing those wins over and over and over again. And when you get to like however many wins, I mean, how many wins have you seen in our years together? They're countless.
Yeah, they are. They are. And it's and not just my wins, watching other people win is huge, because you're excited for them, right? You see where they were and where they are now. And it just makes you want to keep going even more.
Yeah.
Yep. I would say, and you tell me that all the time. I don't see myself as an inspiring person, but you and some of the other girls have told me that, and I'm just like, I I'm very grateful that you guys tell me that, because I don't see that in me as an inspiring person. I hope that I inspire somebody else that is in a similar situation, and or is just frustrated with where they're at and they want to make a change. That that will help get them started and get them rolling and going forward.
Your video has frozen on me,
Yeah,
so
yours did a minute ago. Yeah,
we're gonna have an interesting video playback. So
right.
I apologize. You look kind of like you're singing right now on my end.
Oh,
But
great. You don't want to
yeah.
hear that. I love to sing, but I'm not good at it. I accept that. I'm not a good singer.
Uh, you just need to develop that if that's an area you want to go, right?
Right.
Keep
That's
that
my
growth mindset.
next goal. I'm gonna be a pop star, right?
um, what would you say to somebody else who finds themselves in a similar position to where you were at on your journey when you started with me?
I, um, take a chance on yourself. Find your people. And that's how I feel about the group of girls that come to work out, is they're my people. It's like they're my tribe. And if the first place you go doesn't work out and you don't feel comfortable there, or they're not accepting, or whatever the case is, go try some other place. There's a tons of places that you can try. And you do virtual stuff, and I'm not saying that you're going to be the best fit for everybody. But find just keep trying until you find that perfect fit for yourself. And when
I
you do, you'll see the change.
I agree. I have had a handful of clients that I feel like maybe I wasn't the perfect fit for and it didn't stick, and that's okay. And there are times where you outgrow where you're at, so don't be afraid to move forward once you've outgrown the space that you're in. Um, the mark of a truly good coach or trainer is that you should not need them forever. And whether you want to stay, that's different. But they should be passing on and imparting knowledge to where you don't forever need them. And if you like Danelle says all the time, I've come because I don't want to figure this out for myself. I love that you take care of it for me, but realistically, she knows enough that she could go do it on her own because we've worked together long enough that she understands. And I feel the same about you.
Yeah, I could go to the gym by myself, but it's just not the same.
It's
I even on the days that I go to the gym, it's just, I know I need to get the workout in. I know I need to go. And so I do, but it's just a different atmosphere there. So
I think the camaraderie and the connection that you have with other people, especially if you're a people person,
yeah,
uh, I think it motivates you to keep going, and it helps on those days where you're not feeling it, because we've all been there where we don't really feel like moving our body, but we know that those people are there waiting for us. So we're going to get up, we're going to go through the motions, we're going to keep the habit and keep going.
right. Right. No, agreed. You got to go where you feel comfortable, and where you appreciate the people that are there and they appreciate you. So, um,
So our last question, we I put this out to all of my clients this to come and be a part of doing this with me, and some people have said, no, I don't feel like that's something I feel comfortable with. Some people, I we have a lineup coming, so stay tuned because there will be more. But what is it that made you decide that you wanted to share your story?
first of all, I think you're an awesome person to work with. I think accept people for who they are, and you don't judge them. And so that's one thing, but and to help you, but I would say if I could just, if it's just one person that is just so uncomfortable or insecure with themselves that they're afraid to start something, that if I could just inspire them or get through to them that it's okay, we all feel that way, and you just got to power through. And I know sometimes it's hard, but once you take that first step, that it'll the successes will start to come, and it will you'll see the change. And that's why I decided to do it. I'm hoping that I can help somebody else that's in my similar situation.
I think, Lori, that is the piece that does make you inspiring, is that you aren't afraid to share your story. You're not ashamed of where you've come from and where you're headed and where you are now. And I think, you say you don't see that, but I think that's why, because you genuinely care enough that you are willing to say, hey, I'm going to share this because I know where I was, and if somebody had said this to me, it would have helped me to be less afraid or less whatever, or to have that sliver of hope, have that little bit of something to help me propel forward. So
Thank you.
you're welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate you so much for doing this. And maybe we'll have to get together again and expand on some of these other questions.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe. Yeah, we can
All
do
right.
that.
All right. Thanks everybody for tuning in today, and we will see you again soon.